In order to try and be in compliance with COPA, I'm asking all children who are watching this channel to please turn it off now. This channel is intended for adult crafters only. Hey guys, welcome back to the nest. So this is my progress report for this month, and you all know that I'm working with Snow and Cocoa. But before I get to that, I want to run down the list of names of people that I'm aware of so far that are in this challenge, and because we have a lot of new people. And I want to thank Daniela and Susan for doing those videos explaining what hashtag nopaperleftbehind is. I know a lot of you all understand what it is, but some people who are stumbling upon this may not. So if you want details of those, go to Daniela and Susan's channels, and they explain it perfectly. But it is a personal challenge. But first and foremost, Daniela Hayes is the one who came up with this challenge about a year ago, and I am so grateful for her because I've learned so much since I started this channel. Since I've started this challenge, rather, and about anything from my buying habits, the way I craft, the way it's challenged me personally to maybe do some things that I'm not really comfortable with. But I've learned a lot, and I feel so good when I finish my challenge. I feel really good about it. So, and then we have Susan Tootsie Tucker. She is our resident comedian. Hi, Susan. She's an amazing crafter. All these ladies are, but Susan is a little crackerjack. Her and Linda, her best friend, Linda's Doodahs and Poopaws, she's in the challenge as well. So then we have Sarah with Crafting and Relaxing. She's going to teach you things about organization and using the itty bitty scraps, and she's meticulous. So she's amazing. She is amazing. And then we have Tanisha K. Now, I haven't seen an update on Tanisha this month or any kind of progress reports, but that isn't anything out of the ordinary because normally Tanisha will show up at the end of the month and knock all of our socks off with what she's created. So I believe she's still doing it. I haven't heard otherwise. And then another new one, I think Marilyn joined last month, and she's continued this month. Her name's Marilyn, and she's with Sweetwater Cards, rather. She's an amazing card maker. And then new this month is Paula with Crafting by the Pond. She has decided for her very first month to take on a 48 sheet paper pad, 12 by 12 paper pad, and I bow to her. The first one I did, I believe, was a large paper pad too, but I was so excited and so determined, like I am every month. But hats off to you, Paula. You're doing great. And then Kristen Sawyer. Now, she doesn't do videos. She's on Twitter, I think, or one of those social media things that I'm not on. But I think that she's doing it on there. So if you're on one of those, you can look her up. Annie Creates. I can't remember if this is her first month or possibly her second month. Amazing crafter. Along with Life with Patty. And then we have Mama Vince, who's new this month, as well as Christy Ann's Crafty Adventure. I will put a link to all of their videos, all of their channels in the description box below if you guys want to go over and check them out and see what all they're making with their it's either a paper pad, it could be 12 by 12, 6 by 6, a kit. And Daniela this month was showing how you can take packaged, pre-made cards and envelopes and decorate them up and, you know, use them, make them beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to start laying some of this stuff out. I think that you all have already seen me make some of it. And I apologize that I don't have my little birdie on here, but my battery ran down. So I'm going to have to get me another battery. So these were just some 3x3 cards that I had made, and I think you all have seen these before. And then these are some of the cards, the 6x6 cards that I've made. And this is where I was showing you all how you can add some color to just plain boring papers, like I encountered with this paper pad. They were just black and white, and I'm not a black and white kind of girl. That was just too boring. It needed some color, so that's what we did. And then used the rosettes that I made out of cupcake liners to make embellishments, along with I'd used those little buttons that I had made several years ago with stamp and wood disc. And right here, I even used my packaging on this. See where it says Snow and Cocoa? That's just the packaging. And I fishtailed the end and used my tiny attacher here and use that. So that's another option. Here's another one. I'm going to go through these rather quickly with you. This one right here, this little thing, I used one of the stamps and stamped it, but what this is actually, when I made my cupcake liner rosettes, I had all of these pretty little bottoms, and I think I showed you all. But let's see, let me find one that you can see maybe a little bit better. But they reminded me of like bottle caps. And these are nice and sturdy. These came from Tuesday morning. So all that I did was I cut another piece of foam. On this one I cut just a thick piece of foam and put it in there to build it up. And then on this one right here, I just used a circle punch and punched several layers to build it up, to make it nice and sturdy so it wouldn't collapse in the mail. And I'm trying, which I don't think I did very well here, but I was trying to make my cards to where they would not be as thick and not cost more to go through the mail. So I'll just go through these really quick like. This one, I don't think you all saw me do this, but on this one what I did was, after I cut my papers down, I just took my ink blenders and I started off of the page a little bit and just stroked it like that, you know, just to blend it from dark to light. And then, you know, just did it, alternated colors to get some color on this plain black and white paper. And then this down here is where I had just punched out a bunch of, or not punched, but I die cut a bunch of different little things on this gold paper, and I utilized the negative on it, and then used my little stamps that I had bought that goes with this collection and put it in there. And washi tape, you're going to see a lot of washi tape in these because I'm trying to use it all. See, this is all washi and that's washi, every bit of it. Here's another one. I just added a doily, one of my paper rosettes, cupcake liner rosettes. This right here was a negative piece from a die cut that I'd used, but I wanted to utilize it as well. And then I used more of it down here and popped that Hello Winter up on some foam. And my cards, I'm going to have to, you can see they're not laying as flat as you want to, and I think after you put so much glue on them, they start warping like that. So I'm going to have to put something on them, get them to straighten back out some. But that's what's going on there. There's another one. And then here's another one. Here's where I utilized one of those little buttons that I was showing you that I had made. And then I put, oh, my stomach's growling, sorry. And then I used one of the little paper clips right in the center. And I just put some of the washi tape around this December. That was part of the cut apart. Oh, and right here, if you can, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has glossy accents on the number 25. Then here's another one. The only difference between the two is I put a snowflake in one, and then this little fabric brad in that one. So there are those. Can't remember if I showed you all these tags or not, but this was part of the packaging that Daniela had sent me as a Christmas gift. And I think she may have sent me this Let It Snow die cut as well. So I wanted to see what it cut like. Plus I like that packaging, and that's one of my tags that I made. So let's put these over here. Here's another one. And another one you all are seeing. Are you seeing this washi tape? I am. I've used more washi tape this month on these projects than I've ever used in my entire life. So there's another one. And then the next thing I did was I just continued on using the rosettes that I had made, and I made some embellishments. And I utilized the packaging that came from the ephemera. I need to glue that back right there. Put some wet glue on it. But I utilized the packaging from the Snow and Cocoa and repurposed it with some embellishments. And put my stamp on here. And this right here is part of the washi tape as well as this right here. So I made those. And then I made these two. And so this is the first time I've ever made one of these loaded envelopes. So one of my goals this year is to utilize and use some of the tools that I have that I've been neglecting and not used. I have them, I've been blessed with them, so I need to use them. One of those is the We Are Memory Keeper sewing machine. Now, I have to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about that machine. I'm used to sewing on a real machine, and that, it's kind of like, well, it's just not like sewing on a regular machine. But I think maybe the more that I work with it, maybe the better I'll get. So I'm not crazy with some of the sewing that I've done. But some of the ladies that I watch who do junk journals, they intentionally don't do like perfect stitching. So, you know, and it does make it shabbier. So, okay, we'll go with it. So I just, that's what the sewing right here is. And then I added just a little piece of a doily underneath this little scrap of paper. This is the little rosette that I had made several months ago with cupcake liners. And then I just added it on top of this, one of the newer ones that I've made, the gray polka dot. And so on the background paper here, it has these great big polka dots, and I wanted to soften everything a little bit. And I'll flip it over here to where you can see. I also wanted it shabby, so I used my Distress It All as well as my little Tim Holtz Distress tool and roughed up the edges. And then to quieten down some of these polka dots, I just dry brushed some chalk paint over the paper once I was done. And so I was thinking that maybe, now I've never done one of these before, so I don't know, I was thinking maybe I could put some of these in here like this, and then, I don't know, maybe tuck a tag in. I don't really know how this is done, but I think that it's just supposed to be loaded. You know, something like that, or something. Stick some stuff in there. But this is for, I made this for one particular subscriber, and I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. Y'all will just, I'll just have to tell you later. Okay, so then the next thing that I did was I started making these little journals. They're mini album journals, I guess you would call it, because I don't really do a lot of junk journals So that's what this is, and I'm not finished with these. There's something else coming that I'm working on right now that goes along with these. But I pulled out my baker's twine to have a dangle here, and then my tassels. The background that you see here on this one is actually what I cut off when I laid this down to protect my table here, and I didn't throw it away, and I just thought it was so pretty. So the reason that this album is the size it is because that's the width that I had left of this. So that's how that came about. And then you all saw me make these with you all. And then I just layered up some of the embellishments that I had. On the inside, these are rather plain. There's two signatures in here, and I did sew them. Just added a little pocket here, but I backed the piece of ephemera with some 110-pound cardstock to where it would, you know, have more stability, and then just added some little embellishment pieces there that you could journal on or put a picture on. Left this plain to where you could put a picture. And then I used some of my tab punches, different ones in here to as flips. This is washi that I used to cover up the tiny attacher, because I attached this piece of ephemera with the tiny attacher. And see this little guy? Look, this one right here, it didn't show up very well, but I was okay with that because I didn't want these to stand out too much so you could write over them. So I just grabbed some of my graph paper. None of it's tea stained or anything like that. It's left as is. And each one of these have something. Now this one right here was extremely light, and I doubt it if you can see that. So you'll see in the next section where I used a little bit darker ink, but you know, I couldn't go back over it. I just left it. That's another piece of the paper. And then here, and this is just a little tuck spot, but let me tell you all something. Whoops, sorry if I bumped you. All of the stamp sets, excluding this little car and maybe one of these houses, or maybe I did use both of these houses. I didn't use this one, but all these stamps, I've opened them and I used them. I used them. So proud of myself with that. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to bump you again. So that's just, you know, I just put it, see where I did it darker here and darker ink. But each one of them have, you know, they're stamped on, and then the baker's twine is how I put my, you know, put my signatures to the book. I just used a thicker baker's twine, and then there's just another little tuck spot, and then it just keeps going. Yeah, it just keeps going. Here's the second signature then. And I've just added tuck spots everywhere, but on every page there's stamping. So I did that, and then in the back did the same thing as the front and added some more little pieces of ephemera. Now on this one, you can see where, see how that's open like that? That's very much intentional. And it's just like a book, but I did that because this was so thick that that's what I needed to do. So, but I'm not done with this because there's more, there's something else that I'm going to do with those, and I'll show that to you next week because I'm working on it right now. This was something that I wanted to show you all as I was sewing. So this is my test. You know how, as a sewer, if you sew, you'll always do your test run after you've put your bobbin in and all, to see how it's sewing on a scrap piece of fabric. Here we're using paper. It stitched fine there, and stitched fine here. Even my back stitch, you know, to lock my stitches in. But when I put that in there, it just, woof. Yeah, it didn't happen. Didn't work very well. So here's another one that I did. I did do it differently. As you can see, I did, I crossed them here just to give it a little bit more detail. And added some paper, and then this is part of a cut apart. And then I left this right here black to where whoever gets this can write the year in there. But the black was really, really dark like this, so I just took a piece of chalk and ran over it and then wiped it off to where it would give more of a chalkboard look. And then here's the front of this one. And I added, I still need to do it on this one, but I added some of the metal corners. These were Tim Holtz metal corners, and they were just like a bronze color, so I painted them and then distressed them. Same thing here. Now I'm not finished with this one. I haven't, you know, like stamped on every page or anything inside this one, but there's that one. Like I said, there's still more to come for that. So then with my scraps, as I was thinking, oh gosh, what else am I going to do? I had some of the scrap graph paper. So I made myself a little book for notes that I can just throw in my purse out of some just leftover piece of paper that I had. Added a little piece of ephemera and a little, Brad, is this my best one? No, but this was just something for me that, you know, and I can refill it if this paper holds up. But that was just something that I did while I was thinking. So I did that. And then I thought, okay, I'm not getting anywhere. So I just started cutting paper. And so this is what I did. I started making cards. I just grabbed a pack of pre-made card bases and just started laying stuff out. So this is the outcome. Here's some rosettes, ephemera, scrap piece of paper, some eyelash trim. You can see sequins on here and the little dewdrops in random places that I picked up not too long ago. Then here's another one. And then this one. And this one. And so this paper is really busy. I mean, it's really busy. So I was trying to calm it down a little bit. It's hard for me. It was hard for me to, since the paper is so in your face, it's hard for me to get, it was hard for me to get what I wanted to be front and center, So, I struggled. I'm struggling with this paper pad. I love it and I love the colors, but I am struggling with it a little bit because I just didn't want it to get too busy. And some of it was, but I'm working with it. And then there's one. I made this one today. Now this one, I don't have the, I don't have my sequins and my dewdrops on there yet, but there's that. And then this one as well, I don't have the sequins and dewdrops on it yet. And then this one, and I'm not that big of a fan. I think something just fell off. I think one of my sequins just fell off. I don't know why, but I'm not crazy about this one. I mean, it's okay, but I really struggled with that one because the patterns are so big that things get lost. I think this paper pad would work better on like scrapbook layouts because it is so big. The patterns are so big and so bold. But some of them, like this, see, I was able to calm, even though I added color to here, I was able to calm it down to where it would be front and center, where this one, you know, my Happy Holidays kind of gets lost. So I did that. And I also have, oh, what did I do with them? I also have all of these. As you can see here, they're not done. I've just sort of laid things on top of each card, and I had them spread out when I was doing that, and just kind of adding things to where I can go through then and, you know, put these together like I did these, because, of course, I'll back them up on certain things, or put a rosette, you know, on them, or put washi and stuff like that. But I have all of these that I need to keep making and put together. And then I did this just because I want to make a pocket letter. I've never made a pocket letter, but I just threw some things in there, and it's sitting on my desk to remind me, hey, save some paper to make your pocket letters. So I have that as well. And I believe that is my progress report. And I still have all of that paper. Now, I want to tell you all what I have learned this month from this challenge. You see all of that I've used so far. Well, remember me showing you all how I was putting all of my embellishments, putting all of my embellishments in these little bins. So there's one, and here's one, and see, I've even some washi up here. I'm saving that to where I can glue it and put it on a card. But here's one. Do you see all that? There's a lot left. And it, hang on. Okay, I still have these stickers that I had laid out. Okay, I have this chipboard. And 2 more packages of chipboard left. Now, I do have another 12 by 12 paper pad, as you all know, of Snow and Cocoa, as well as a 6 by 6. But I have been using this like crazy, and look how much I still have. So this is what I've learned this month. First off, when you have a lot of ephemera, or you don't have a lot of ephemera, but you're going to make some to go with your collection, I highly suggest that you do this right here, because I'm using it. Now, I haven't found a big use for these larger pom-poms right here right now, but I've been using these. I've been using things that, even if I had them handy, I wouldn't just grab for them, and make sure that I use those and only those. So I love how this is laid out, and it just sits on my desk, and I can just thumb through them really easy. I don't have to open a package and sit and look. You know, I can sit and thumb through everything, and I'm using it, especially this. How many of you all have washi tape, and it sits in however you store it, and you never pull it out and never use it? I'm so guilty of that. But I've really been proud of myself of how much washi that I've used, because it's been here. And then, you know, I added other things that, I showed this to you guys before. I added other things that that I went through my craft room, and the colors went with it, and I put it in here, and I've been, you know, I've been using it. So I highly suggest that. What I don't suggest is this. Be selective in the ephemera that you buy. if your 12 by 12 paper pad already has a lot of cut-aparts in it. I'm going to try to reach through here and show you all. So I still have, hang on. This is something that I didn't show you. I still have all of these words that I cut apart from one sheet of the paper. But I also have these. These were in some of the ephemera, but it was words, so I put them all right here together. Words or sayings. So I have all those together and I have them handy. So I've been using them. But I have another full sheet of those. Yeah. And I've already pulled them out and cut them apart. But I had, I'll open this one and show you. So I have, if you're buying a paper pad, a 12 by 12 paper pad, and you're looking through it, and if they have the paper and the ephemera, look through your paper pad closely. So there's one sheet of cut-aparts for ephemera. Of course, the words, wherever those words were. Oh, wait a minute. You have another sheet of cut-aparts, okay, for ephemera. You have these. And you're going to have, I think that's the last one. I think. Hang on one second. Nope. We have these. There's another sheet of cut-aparts. Oh, and there's another one. I don't think that one, or did we start over? Yeah. So you have two of each one of those that I just showed you, okay? That's a lot of ephemera for one paper pad. Now, normally, I don't see that many. That's kind of abnormal. But just be mindful of how much ephemera you already have within that paper pad before you go buying, like I did, all of the ephemera, and be very choosy with it. You know, I didn't need, I did not need all of this ephemera. It's neat and it's pretty and I love it, but I mean, it's a lot, and I don't think there's any way. I'm glad that it's no paper left behind rather than no ephemera left behind, because I'm pushing it as it is this month with getting done and finishing this 12 by 12. But as far as the ephemera goes, there's no way. I mean, I love these pieces right here, but I am struggling. You know, that would be really pretty on a card. That's Sarah's word for the year. But, you know, I'm struggling with it. I love them. Look at all these snowflakes. You know, and silly me pulled out this big snowflake punch thinking that I was going to need it. No. No, I don't need it. I have all of this here because I bought, what, 1 or 2 packs of the snowflakes. And I still have more ephemera. Like, you all know that I still have more of these. I still have more. So, just be mindful of that. It's just a little tip that I've learned this month. As far as my buying goes. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. While I'm here, off subject, but Jill, who is Love My Two Pugs, no, she is not. She is not that anymore. She's Jill May Creates now, or Jill May Creations. Sent me this gorgeous card. I got it in the mail yesterday. Jill actually is the one who taught me, one of the ladies, her and Peggy, JP Peggy, who's passed away, taught me how to make cards, because I was not a card maker until they kept doing it. But This card is beautiful, and thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jill. I thoroughly appreciate it. Look at her envelope. Isn't that pretty? She just used her stamps. Then over here, I love this. It says snail mail. And then look at the back. I know. Cute, huh? Thank you so much, Jill. That was so uplifting. So that's it, guys. Be sure to go check out the other ladies who are in this challenge and see how they're doing for this month and how many projects they can come up with. A quick update on the workshop. They delivered our first load of lumber today. So this weekend we will be, I think we'll be framing walls if my body's up to it. It's raining here all day today, so you know what that means. Uncle Arthur, my arthritis, and Lady Fibro are having a party in my body right now. But this too shall pass. So take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, hit like, and hit subscribe in case you haven't subscribed yet. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye.